want you to tell people how you feel about doing something to helping people. And I want to get an understanding of where you want to go with it, how far. Give me the kinds of people you help, the rich, the poor, you know, whatever like that, you know. And tell people, you act like you got a lot of heart. I say act like, maybe I shouldn't say it like that, but you appear to have a lot of heart, a lot of dignity, and a lot of respect. In our society today, that is very rare. You know, and a lot of the people that we have here are people that are above the board, as I like to say. That's why we have important people. You know, this is thoughts of a common man. Common people communicating, common people on just how to make it. And again, this is not fake news. You may not like what I say to you or what people say to you that come here, but we'll tell you the truth. And this is somebody he's walked the walk, and he's talking the talk, and he knows what, and just like John Lewis, he knows his stuff. You know, give us some expose of where you're going technically with all this.
One of the things that attracted me to OTX when I began was just that, their mission of trying to help. And you know, my prior career, I was, what I did is I fed the rich. And now, what I think that I'm doing is I'm feeding those that need it. I'm feeding the poor people that need it. And I'm not feeding them food, I'm feeding them education. And I think technology is the principal tool for education nowadays. You say, where is it that we're going? Well, our intent is to not bridge the digital divide, but to eradicate it. It's something that needs to be, has to be addressed. You know, it's one of the things that, you know, everybody takes it for granted. Everybody has a computer and everybody has access. And, you know, technology is it's a beautiful thing, but, you know, without access, it's nothing. And we conducted a survey in 2014 school year, beginning of the school year during enrollment at Oakland Unified School, and found that 44% of Oakland students did not have access, did not have computers, did not have internet. I mean, it's a really sad state when you think about that all of their curriculum is online. And, you know, now the testing is all online. And when you don't even have keyboarding skills, you know, you can't compete. You can't compete. You're going to lose. I'm proud to say that this year alone, we've provided over 2,500 computers.
Whoa.
Yeah, not just in Oakland. We've been able to expand our services, so we're throughout Alameda and Contra Costa County. Total number of computers that we've given since the inception of this organization is about 40,000 computers. And with that also comes training, about tech support. So basically, once you receive a computer from OTX, you're part of the tech exchange.
One of the things that we have found out that ignorance, stupidity, however you want to put it, in the inner cities is what is the most destructive thing, that it lets psychological aggression in, especially when people feel they don't have any hope or nowhere to go. One of the good things that we have been talking about on Thoughts of a Common Man right here on Valencia Radio, you know, is the fact that we are
Mark Gilman for PG&E. Most people in recognize the blue trucks for PG&E. My truck is something. It's an 8
you know,
truck. You call it.
You know, one of the things that just turn it off.
To make sure.
You know, there you
You
go.
don't hit them when you're digging.
And we're having so much fun around here today. Anyway, we're saying that the bridge is here. You know, the bridge is here. We need to get this into the community because it replaces psychological aggression. The fact of the matter is, psychological aggression is no hope, there's no vision, and there's nowhere to go. And what we do here is we actually communicate and have things, and we have people here to help you. This man here is really a vision. into the future. He is a vision to help you. And all you guys that are out there on the corner with laptops and stuff like that, just turn it around. Am I right about that?
That's correct.
You know, this is your line to get out of the ghetto, and it's about choices. Am I right about that?
That is correct.
It's all about choices, and it's all about priorities. If your priority is that you do not want to excel and learn, you'll be where you are, and you'll end up incarcerated. Because you know, and I know damn well, that most of the people in the ghetto, they're targets before they even get to be 16 years old. You're a target. You're not only a target to those that are there, but you're a target to those that are outside there too. And I'm not just talking about law enforcement, I'm talking about the very people that you have standing right there next to you. If you have the knowledge to get out of there, a computer is the way to go.
As I said before, it's a pathway to education. Everything is available online. Anything that you want to learn. I mean, I'm very proud. I've read many books. But, you know, I would say within the last 20 years, the major part of the knowledge I've amassed has been online, has been having access to the internet. And, you know, it perhaps is not for everyone. It takes a certain amount of self-discipline in order to be able to retain everything. But it is really out there. I mean, we're at the point now where everything is online. I mean, everything from making payments to making doctor's appointments. In fact, you know, telemedicine is a big part of this in rural areas, which is really important, where, you know, when your doctor is 30, 40 miles away, with a webcam, the doctor can diagnose your baby.
They even have diagnostics online now, right?
Yes, they do.
They can diagnose you online.
They can diagnose you online. And, you know, and that field is advancing, and it's going to get to the point that you could probably do it with just pressing your thumbprint, you know, on a device. I mean, it's an amazement of what goes on. The amazing thing is that there are so many folks that still don't have access. One of the things I always think about is, you know, when is it that I'm going to be able to reach my goal? You know, when are we going to be able to get everybody?
So what is your goal?
Our goal is to have everyone connected, to have everyone has equal access. That is the goal that we're trying to achieve. Unfortunately, what I seems like, you know, what we call our clientele, basically our folks that we serve, basically poor folks that don't have a lot of resources. And it seems like we're never running out of those kind of folks. So it seems like my mission goes on. And it's, you know, to me, it's not, it's an important thing which everybody can be part of. Even if it's, you know, everybody does a little bit and everybody helps. I mean, right now, as I say, we've given out 2,500 computers.
That's a lot of computers.
That is a lot of computers. When you
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot
and
of
it
people.
affects an average of 4 persons per family.
That is correct.
That's 100,000 people.
That is correct. That is correct. Because what we provide is a computer per household. Right now, we're limited. We have a great demand, and for once, we're having a challenge in meeting that demand. So the way that everyone can help is, when you have old equipment you're ready to retire, don't throw it out on the curb. Bring it to us. Bring it to Tech Exchange. We're in Oakland. We're currently in the process of moving. We're originally at 1680 14th Street. That's in West Oakland. We're now moving to 2201 Poplar Avenue. Still in West Oakland. So we're at West Grand and Poplar. What we do is we refurbish the computers. We make them work better than new. We guarantee them for 1 year, and every recipient is entitled to receive digital literacy training. We provide a workshop with all of our computers. So it's, you know, it's something that's almost too good to be true. Many people don't believe it. The way we conduct business now is we sponsor tech fairs at schools.
You got a phone number?
Yes, we do. Our phone number is 510-893-4822. As I was saying, we conduct tech fairs at schools. And what the tech fair consists of is helping folks sign up for low-cost internet. There's some great low-cost internet plans that the general public's not aware of. You can get internet, good, fast internet for $10 a month. There's certain things, criteria you got to meet. For example, there's one for the home of students that get free or assisted lunch. They basically,
really?
Yes, they basically can get internet for $10 a month. And that's the major qualification. There's actually another one now for anyone who receives any housing assistance. So any HUD housing assistance, public housing, Section 8 vouchers.
So why don't the news media and multimedia put all this out?
Well, that's a very good question, Charles. I think the reason that we exist is because they don't put it out there. Otherwise, wouldn't, a lot of these big corporations, and I don't want to use names, but they appear that they're doing this out of the goodness of their heart. Reality is that these are, FCC rulings that have been applied because of their mergers and kind of a way to prevent them from being a giant conglomerate, a monopoly. So they have to offer these services as part of their agreement. Now, nothing says that they have to promote these services.
Aha, that's the magic kicker right there.
I've been working with programs like this for a few years now, since they existed, so I've seen the progression. I have to admit that from when they started to the present, they're actually pretty efficient. I mean, it's as easy as making a phone call. It takes all of 10 minutes in conducting a phone interview and receiving a $10 a month internet connection within a week from your phone call. What we do is we provide a free computer for anybody who's new to the internet, anybody who signs up for the internet. And there are more, and I'm hoping that in the coming future there will be.
There's several organizations around the Bay Area that can help people with computers. You have that I'm gonna get out there and teach you and you're gonna learn type thing. And I want to say to people out there, again, it's all about priorities. What do you want in life? How much do you want in life? Now, I'm going to say I was on MacArthur, and right there with MacArthur and Adeline, and they're all split up right there by Pack and Save. And I was watching these young guys out there with computers. Some of them had Apples. But it's all about priorities again. If you know how to sit out there and run that Apple computer, you should know how to get out there and get your job and keep from getting shot or beat or whatever, being in harm's way, we're going to call it like that. Am I right?
That's absolutely right.
This is groundwork we're talking about. This is wanting to live. This is actually having somebody to tell you that you can get out there and you can have a productive life if you change your priorities. And I'm going to tell you, I saw one individual with some $400 Jordans on. They had the little gold stripe down it. Now, I mean, they're $35 tennis anyway. It costs $35 to make them. But supply and demand says $400. He had some of these new Levi's on that cost almost $250. He had a shirt on that was $125. And and a leather coat. Very beautiful leather coat. So here's somebody with $1,000 worth, and down the street he had parked a hoopty, an '89 Buick. That wasn't a Buick. That was an '89 or '90 Cadillac with big 20-inch, 22-inch wheels and a 26-inch. Now here's $5,000. That could put him through a whole computer course for a whole year. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely.
And he can go home and sleep at night.
That's right.
So this is about priorities. And in ghetto America, we got all this facade that, we want people to see what we have. You ain't got a damn thing. I see Cadillacs parked in public housing. I even seen a Maserati. And what do you call that thing? It's Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
It's parked in public housing.
Yeah.
But they don't educate their kids. And a simple computer is an avenue to get your kids into a fashion of life that they can live.
Exactly.
So where do we go wrong? I'm going to ask you this. I'm getting off the subject. Where do we go wrong in your estimation? Since you're dealing with all these people and all these needs and all these desires and all these stuff that they
Mention Apple
should
computer.
have.
Everybody has to have an Apple computer because
Right.
it costs a lot. Reality of it is that you can't buy talent, so the computer itself is not going to do it. A refurbished computer from Tech Exchange will get you to the same place as the Apple computer. Okay, it's an incredible. As director of
And it's like I'm gonna take my Ford Focus
Right.
or my Ford Pinto
Right.
that only burns $25 worth of gas in relation to my Maserati, which burns $200 worth of gas,
Right.
and I'm gonna get to the same place.
You're going to get to the same place, and
Yeah.
more than likely, what you're going to do is you're going to come at the stop sign where the other guys also stopped in his Maserati. You know, it's one of these things that we live. America is a throwaway society. Nothing gets fixed. What we do, we are refurbishers of computers, so we do fix them. We know how to make these machines. We extend their lives. We extend their lives by 7, 8 years more than what they have. We can, right now, in my office, I'm working with a computer that's from 2009. That's a modern one for me. But you know what? I get to do everything.
I got one from 2008.
Yeah, there you go.
And I call it Gertrude. Gertrude still works. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's really what it is. I mean, part of it is that, as you're saying, is a lot of people that are basically, buying things that, they can't afford to impress people. That you prioritize things in your life. I've gone into people's homes where they have a new Wii, they have a big widescreen television, they don't have internet, they don't have a computer. Yet they have 2 school-age children that are struggling to keep up in school, that have to actually go to the library so they could use it. Library is a great resource, but the library has a 1-hour cap on using the internet. So, it's unnecessary challenges. It's just that. It's just if you think it through, you're actually, if you think it through, know what resources are out there, you can take advantage. America is a great country. As I say, everything is shiny and new. That's kind of what everybody, that's what they need. They feel that they need something shiny and new.
But it's insecurity, that's the problem.
You're right.
It's insecurity.
Right.
It's deep, deep insecurity.
Right. We've had a challenge at OTX with our equipment because it's refurbished. We actually polish it to make it look new. We have a volunteer force, that's what they do.
Wow.
They make, not only are the computers functional, right, but they also look new. But it makes, folks are always concerned if they're new. They want to know the box that it came in. They want that whole experience. But I tell you, I've also seen a change. That's how they come originally, from starting like that. I have been at tech fairs where they're so grateful that I've seen mothers cry because they realize that, the empowerment, right, of being able to have access. A lot of families that we see, that I see personally, are families that have to make very difficult choices between food, clothing, let alone a computer. That's way down the line for them. So for us to get them to that point, and for them to just know a little bit that using, your search engine, you can find things that are lower price.
But I see computers on the street. The guy who lives behind me picks them up.
Yeah. Well, that's the kind of.
And they work.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with them.
Right.
I take them up to this guy up here that I know in Berkeley, and he's a tech guy. He's tech savvy. He wipes out the access and all that stuff, and the passwords. And there's nothing wrong with them. Some of them have Windows 10 on them.
Yeah, I see that all the time. One of the reasons, and I'll tell you what the cycle is. The cycle is, folks will go to a big box store and they buy a computer on sale, they say. The computer comes with an antivirus program, right? So that expires in 1 year.
Right.
At that time, they don't have the money or the will to to renew that, so the computer gets a virus and makes it inoperable. And what do? They'll throw it out and they'll buy another one. Now what we do is we take that computer, right, and we basically clean that computer out. What we do with our computers, we have an image, a custom image. You know, we're Microsoft authorized refurbishers. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we
Wow.
have Windows licenses.
Bill Gates people, huh?
Yeah. Actually, you know, it's actually a very generous organization in
Right.
what they do in comparison to other organizations, or better, other companies and how they treat, you know, Microsoft, I have to admit, they do have a social consciousness, and they provide those Windows licenses at a lower cost for nonprofits like ours.
I know they have put a lot of computers in inner city America.
Yeah, they have.
Donated.
Yeah, they have.
55,000 computers.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I understand doing my research.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but here you are telling people and making people aware that they could have an avenue that costs them nothing almost.
Costs them nothing. Costs them nothing. You know, that's what we're trying to eliminate, is the prohibitiveness of, you know, of what technology is. You know, normal, average person calls, you know, for internet connection. A marketing person answers the phone. Said, well, you can get this speed, you can get that speed, you can get it there. How much is it? That's $140 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
$140 a month is
That's a lot of food.
that's a lot of food. And if you have 4 kids, right?
That's
something-
hunger. That's
yeah,
hunger.
Yeah, right. So, of course, that, as far as priority goes, that goes way down the line. That doesn't really, you know, organization like us comes in and close that gap, right? A smart family takes full advantage of that, right? And then, one of the things that we do, okay, so we provide a free computer. See a lot of families that they have multiple, you know, they have large families, more than one kid. We sell a computer to them. We sell a computer to them. They have options. They can buy a computer starting at $100, or they can come and volunteer to earn themselves a computer.
I want to say something. That's a pack of blunts right there.
Yeah, but
Priorities.
Yeah.
It's about priorities.
Right.
Do you
Right.
want to get out there and smoke your stuff?
Right.
Or do you want to get out there and get educated?
Yeah.
You smoke your stuff, you're going to go to jail. Well, not anymore, but it's detrimental to your health. With a computer, you can accent health. Did I put that right?
You said it correctly. You said it correctly. You said it correctly. You know, it's what technology is. It's a self-help tool.
Yeah.
It's something that if, you know, people embrace it correctly, it's a self-help tool. It's something that can definitely, I mean, I've seen it. I've known folks for, you know, I know a particular lady that comes to mind that she's disabled, but that computer has made her the most able person available. Right now, she went from basically not knowing anything. Right now, she is doing video editing. And she's creating,
Wow.
she's creating videos to help other folks in her situation. I don't know if I want to say her name,
We'll
but
do a first name.
her name is Julia.
There you go.
Yeah. And,
You know, she knows who
Yeah,
she
yeah,
is.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, I've seen, you know, we've had students that have come to me from when they were in 4th, 5th grade that are now taking advanced mathematics in, you know, in a college, right? These are guys from, you know, from East Oakland, right, that basically had no future, right, had they kept that same course, that they've done it. I tell you, one of the most touching things about that is I've been able to meet some of these people that really have a drive to help
There's
themselves.
really some intelligent people in the ghettos, isn't there?
Oh,
They just don't. They don't know how to choose.
They don't know how to choose. They don't know
And
how
the
to
computer
choose.
gives them that choice.
Gives them a choice. And it's not just the computer. It's also the training, the exposure. You know, if you go, you know, when you go to, let's say you buy an automobile. You buy an automobile, you're not buying the mechanic. You're not buying.
Right.
You're not buying. What our intent is to basically, it's a complete package. Is that you get a computer, you get support. You got anybody today, Tuesday afternoons, that's when we do our tech support, people come in. And we do everything from virus removal to actual when there's hardware damage that we need to exchange. One of the things we do, we guarantee the computer. So it's we either fix it or replace it. Right down to just questions. It's like, why is it when I click here, I get this? Or, teaching people how to use their antivirus program, how to choose. One of the biggest myths is that, antivirus software is expensive. It's not. It's free. It's free. It's available to anybody. One of the biggest,
That's a myth.
it is a myth. It is a myth that, I can't afford the antivirus and all that. Antivirus is free. Now many companies are giving, but there's some that have been there for forever. There's a lot of open source software where the source code for it it's basically available to anybody could use it. If you are a programmer, you can actually take that code, modify it, whatever, right? So there's an incredible amount of resources out there that folks don't really take advantage of.
Wow, there are fellows and ladies and gentlemen out there. We have Domingo here, and we're talking about computers, we're talking about bridging, we're talking about survival. And a lot of people don't realize that everything you do now, including grading papers, come on a computer. One of the things that I really fell in love with was the fact that my ex has a pacemaker, and they can tune that pacemaker with a computer. She can put the phone up to her chest, and whatever the communication device they got on the other end, they can talk to it. They can diagnose it. I mean, technology right now, and I want to say this to you, if you live in the inner city, it's your road to get the hell out of there. People say, well, I can't do this. The minute you start saying, I can't, it won't happen. And it's not going to happen. So when you have a computer, and I want to say that even junior high, first grade students right now, 3 or 4 years old, they're learning to use a computer already. So the older you get, the harder it gets. So get in there and do it while you can. And at the same time, think of something that you want in life and project your thought into that thing and focus on it and stay on course. And you'll get the hell out of that doggone ghetto or that barrio. Okay? A computer is hope. And Domingo, you want to tell people, put your numbers out there again, okay? And talk to people about what you
so
do.
right now, as I mentioned, is we've given a large number of computers just this past year, and I have requests for many more coming up. Our challenge is to meet those requests. The way that the Tech Exchange works is we receive donated computers as Microsoft authorized refurbishers. We put legal Windows license on it. We put our suite of programs on it, all open source programs that equivalent to what the big names out there. Example, we have LibreOffice, which is like Microsoft Office, compatible with Microsoft Office. We have GIMP, which is image manipulation program like Photoshop. We have audio editing programs, professional quality, where you can record 72 stereo tracks on them. All of that is on the computer. So, you're getting it's a very nice machine that we actually put out. Now, what it is that we need more of these computers so we can keep refurbishing, so we can meet all the needs. I would say this year's projection will probably exceed 3,000. That's 3,000 homes that are going to get computers. And not just in Oakland, it's throughout Alameda and Contra Costa County. So it's one of these things that you're helping not just your local folks, you're helping everybody in this Bay Area. So what you could do is you can make arrangements. What I recommend is that you visit our website, which is techexchange.org. As I say, we're in a transitional period now, so we actually have 2 addresses. So at one point it's going to be just one. So right now we're at 1680 14th Street. We're in West Oakland. We're moving into actually a smaller place, which is on 2201 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and West Grand. So those will be the two main drop-off locations. But as I say, visit our website or give us a call at 510-893-4822 to find out where you can donate. We will actually give you a receipt with our tax ID, so you can use that as a tax-deductible donation. And just think about it. I mean, you're not just helping, you know, you're helping more than one family. You're basically keeping our organization afloat so we can continue to help many families.
We're here to help. Thoughts of a Common Man. If you really look at that, thoughts of a common man. It's common, everyday people helping everyday people. Because in our society right now, we have an average of 41 billionaires and millionaires running this country. And trust me, they're going to get theirs. And they don't care how you get yours. They don't care if you ever get yours. So you got to strike this up and make things a little bit better. Get out there and do an effort. Am I right?
The condition this country's in, we're all part of it. We're all in it. We all have a responsibility to look out for ourselves as well as our family and our brothers and sisters. You know, technology is one way to do that. It's one way to, you know, you better yourself. And it doesn't matter. I don't want to just narrow everything down to technology. I mean, it's just, you know, better yourself. Just find a way to better yourself. Read a book. Read a book to a child.
You can go online and read a book.
You can go online and read a book. Exactly.
You can go online and listen to some of the best music in the world.
Yeah.
Don't need a stereo no more.
Don't need a stereo. You don't need, you know, it's one of the problems. It's hurting the music industry because, you know, you know, a lot of folks don't buy their products, but you know, but it's a good thing. I mean, I think, you know, a lot of it should not always be capitalized, but you know, on the overall, I see there's no negative side to learning, right? No matter what the tool is.
Re-educating yourself, I like to say.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's basically educating yourself. You know, as I said, I've been in this business since 1999. When I started at OTX, and you know, I've met a lot of people. I had you know, actually helped some young incarcerated men at Log Cabin Ranch. I worked with some incarcerated youth at Camp Sweeney. And, you know, I'm lucky that I'm still in contact with some of them, and I've seen them achieve. One particular story I'd like to share. I had one young man who wrote me an email. This is about a year after he took one of my classes. This is a class we were doing through an organization called OutNet. This young man, EJ, wanted... he actually wrote me to tell me he had found a job. He was so excited. He was making $45,000 a year. Legally. Legally.
No gunshots.
No gunshots, no looking over your shoulder, no. Young African-American man. Boy, he wrote me this email. I was so touched, I actually wanted to interview him, and I did a video about him. And one of the things that he says is, $45,000, that's more money than I've made in my entire life, getting this end, you know. So it was a very, very touching story. A few years have passed, and I get a call from EJ. Sunday morning, I'm driving down the highway, and I was going, I hope this isn't trouble. So EJ actually asked me if I could write him a letter of recommendation. And I said, well, sure, that's not a problem, you know. So I questioned, what is the job that you're going after? So it's actually going for a senior art director job. And I said, so what's the salary? He says, $90,000 a year. I told him, EJ, you need to write me a letter of recommendation. You know? And it's something that gives me a lot of pride to see this young man thrive. I met him when he was 21. He's about 29. He's married. He's seen the world. He's moved from the Bay Area to New York. He's lived in London. It's something that is really fulfilling. To me, what I feel like is that, I just didn't help one person. I helped the family because, he's now got kids, he's got a wife, and, that's the same thing. I mean, there's other students that I had a lot of single parents. When you help a single parent out, you're actually saving 2 lives, because you're helping that baby as well, giving them some future. And there's a great pride. A lot of people ask me, so why do you do this? And I do this for one simple gratitude. Just basically, as long as somebody realizes what they have and they're able to continue it, that's what makes me feel good. That's my paycheck.
Here we go again with passion. A passion for life, a passion for giving, and compassion. Those are two of the things that I want to say to you, that in the coming next 4 years, and I don't want to get political with this thing, I want you to be compassionate to somebody. Well, everybody got the idea of passion. Some of us way out there, and some of us are real nice. But I want you to get out there again, and I want you to actually go and scour for these old computers. One of the things that I realize is that a lot of people are hoarders. My neighbor he's a hoarder, and I'm gonna hit him up and see what he's got in his garage, and then the guy across the street from me. But what we're doing is we're actually bridging and we're networking. This is what it's all about. The next 4 years are going to be very trying for people, because looking at the stats, 80,000 people a year fall through the cracks just in the minority neighborhood. 80,000. And once you're out there, you've been out there for a while, and you're not acclimating yourself to the change, and you're not applying for jobs, they no longer list you. Am I right?
That's correct.
So, and one of the things is I look at Facebook, I look at all of the frustration in the black community and the minority Mexican American community and in other communities too, because we're not getting out. It's harder to get out now, it's harder to communicate, and this is a way that you can get out there and communicate. Thoughts of a Common Man, you keep that in mind. One of the things I want to ask you is, where do you think we should start educating kids with computers on a mass level?
There was a time when computers were introduced in the 5th grade.
5th and 6th grade.
Right. That has changed. That has changed. I see it now that 3rd graders, and it's an important thing, because from kindergarten to 3rd grade, you learn to read.
Right.
From that point on, you read to learn. And so it's important to, the computer, as you said, I mean, it's not just, it's a reading tool as well. It's an interactive device. And by introducing kids at an early age, right, it basically narrows that gap of learning. In other words, you're starting, if a 3rd grader does what a 5th grader used to do, we're going to be a better society on the overall.
Tell people about CAD drawings and effective CAD drawings on our society now.
CAD drawings?
Yeah.
Well, it's basic for everything. Look outside, look down the street, look at those buildings. Without a CAD drawing, they wouldn't be there. There was a time. For me, right now, one of the things that big movement that is going on in a lot of schools is what they call STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, math. There's another one where you can call it STEAM, and you add art in there as well. Okay, right? And that is the career pathway. That is what there's a need for. Right now, you look at San Francisco, look at Oakland, all these big tech companies. Where are all the workers coming from? They come from back east, they come from overseas. Right now,
A lot of Germans right now, right here in Oakland.
Yeah,
A lot of Germans.
Yeah, and from all countries.
Right.
From all countries. What I'm saying
So why
is,
can't we do that?
well, we can. Yes,
Why
we can.
can't we learn the same thing?
Well, that's where we're closing that gap right now. And you know, it's one of the things I like about technology is that you're very employable if you apply yourself, you have the time. You're not limited to having a 4-year college education. Okay? College is not for everyone, right? It's for some folks and it's necessary, right? But you can have a career, right? Applying yourself 6-9 months. I can tell you one thing. I've done, I actually took a course, a 4-month course in web development, right? In writing HTML, JavaScript, and learning those graphic things. The rest of it, I go online. I teach myself something new every week. You know, my time is narrow nowadays.
And you're 39 plus.
There's a lot of pluses there, yeah.
I want you to understand something that we're doing today. We're actually canvassing right now for computers. If you know anybody who has an old computer that they don't use anymore, one that they've just kind of set aside, and you know, we are a wasteful society, and there's a lot of people out there who have computers. They're sitting in their garages, they're sitting in bedrooms. I even found one in the closet the other day, and the lady said, "Oh, it's only 1.5 years, 2 years old, but I got me a new one last week because that old thing just don't impress me anymore." You know, we're here to tell you that we're talking about communications. We're talking about bringing something to people, especially people who are closed in, people who are sick, people who are disabled. We're here with Domingo, and we're actually doing things to make things better, to make life better, really. You know, and you know what? Here he is again. You want to put your numbers in there?
Yeah.
And put all your stuff in there, and kind of, you know, give us an idea of where you want to go again, and how many people, and tell people about how to get around and shop for computers with these people, you know, that have them in their garages. Okay.
If you're no longer using, we will gladly accept it, you know, family members. Now also, perhaps where you work, maybe at your office, they have a lot of computers. You know, usually businesses retire their equipment, 2 to 3 years. We welcome corporate donations. We welcome any donation. In fact, it's one of the good things about it there. It's usually a uniform model, so that they're almost the same kind of computer. So we welcome those as well. We could take, if it's a corporate donation, we will roll the truck and pick them up for you. If it's individuals, then please bring them to us. We're 1680 14th Street. We're in West Oakland.
What's the cross street to that?
The cross streets there are Campbell and Willow. We're at almost at the end of 14th Street.
Oh, you're way down in the boonies out there.
Oh, they call it lower bottom.
Lower bottom, yeah.
Right.
The boonies.
Right. And we're actually transitioning to a new location, which is at 2201 Poplar, which is at the corner of Poplar and West Grand. So at either one of those locations, you can break. I strongly recommend that you give us a call at 510-893-4822 so that you can arrange for a time, be secure that you don't want to waste your trip. Also, check our website, which has a lot of information, which is techexchange.org. Okay. And then you can get us a computer. Every computer that you bring, remember, it's not just a computer; it's a family you're helping. So we look forward to donations. That's what
Our
keeps us going.
website is www.thoughtsofacommonman.net, and what we're really talking about today is closing the digital divide. And Mr. Vazquez is a way we can do that. He's making sure that all students, rich or poor, well, let's say the unfortunate, have computers, that they're able to do their homework, that they're able to have internet access at home. He's providing a service that is overlooked by so many. And in order for him to do that, he needs the technology. So we all got e-waste laying around the house, and there's companies that have more than enough inventory that can be taken off their hands. He's here and he wants to do that. And I'd like him to give out his information once more.
So, we are, as I say, we're in a process, we're in a transitioning process, so we have two addresses. We're at 1680 14th Street, that's in West Oakland, across streets there are Campbell and Willow. Our phone number is 510-893-4822, or you can visit our website, which is techexchange.org. Our other location is at 2201 Poplar, that's at the corner of Poplar and West Grand. So within the next month or so, we will be transitioning to just one, so I recommend you either call or visit the website to get precise information. But yes, we will welcome any retired electronics, and particularly, computer-related equipment. We avoid televisions and things like that, but computer in any shape, we will take it. Hopefully you bring us one that is in working order to make it that much easier and make it faster. One of the programs that we do once a year is we collect laptops and we provide those for all scholars. Any individual that has received scholarships on their way to college, we know that a desktop computer sometimes is cumbersome, so we're doing a drive to collect laptops so we can keep that going. Last year, I think we gave out about 160 of them. This year, we have a goal to give out more laptops. So if you have old laptops that you don't need, or even new laptops, you can do it. We also accept monetary donations. So if you care to help us out with our mission, visit our website. There's a page there that where you can donate as well. While you're there, you can see there's a colorful map. It's under the impact section, and it shows a dot for every computer that we have given out. In certain parts of Oakland, it appears to be at least 2 of our machines on every city block. Which is a pretty impressive number. Even though I do this a lot of times, I go back and I go, wow, did we really do that? So, it's a very fulfilling, and seeing that folks are taking advantage of this, but more folks can also take advantage. There's a lot of folks out there that don't realize it. They still think that technology is not within their reach. But I'm here to assure you that if you have a need for a computer, if you have a need for low-cost internet...
Here we go again. And we're talking about success with stuff that nobody wants. I want to do a real shout-out to somebody I ran into on BART today that I hadn't seen in about 2 years. And 5-6 years ago, she was on welfare. And today she's making $70,000. We're here offering hope. That's what Thoughts of a Common Man is. Here is a young lady. God, when I first met her, she was rough, baby. Woo-wee. Attitude to the max. Angry, and frustrated with life, just like so many young women. I tell you that we're here to help you out. Number one, she was on welfare. She had been on welfare for about 6 or 7 years, and she was frustrated, and she was out. When I met her on BART, she was a laborer going on a construction site to sweep the site down. That's all she did all day, was sweep. And she was making $14 an hour. And we got to talking one day, and she went into tears, and she said to me, Chief, she says, I got 2 kids. She said, what am I going to do? I'm in a deadbeat end. Ain't nothing happening. She said, I'm scared. And I looked at her, I said, you know what? I know somebody, and somebody that I have been knowing for a long time. They work on construction sites, and I hooked her up with them. And the next thing I know, I saw her a little bit later on in time, and she was making $22 an hour, and she was a runner. She was in the tool room, okay, at $24 an hour. which was okay. And she was just so ecstatic, and she bought herself a car. She bought a used Benz, which is one of the things that you just don't want to do, but a Toyota or a Nissan or something like that with low maintenance. But that's what she wanted, and she bought herself a used Benz, a 10-year-old Benz. And then as time went on, we would run into each other, and she decided to go to Laney and take some classes at night, some business classes. Well, in 2 years, she became computer literate. In 2 years. Well, she and I got to talking one day, and I says, you know what, I know a guy, I said, and he knows about cranes, the mechanics of cranes. She said, Chief, I'm only 128 pounds. I said, yeah, but you got a brain. So she went back to school again and took a basic electricity course. Okay, now you couple this with a computer course she took. And you know, when you're on welfare and stuff like that, there's a lot of pros that you can, stuff that you can get, benefits you can get into, and the federal government will help you out. You got to get this going real quick because it ain't going to happen in the near future. But she went to a basic electricity class. Basic electricity. Just learning about how electricity flows and switches and stuff like this, and you know, and coupling that with what she knows now and what she went through at the computer class, and you know, it was only like 2 days a week, so it really didn't impact her life. But today she's making $70,000 a year. Okay, with a computer and with the limited knowledge, she has transcended into $70,000 a year, and she lives in a very nice place. She actually went on a program and bought a small house down in North Oakland. Tiny, tiny, tiny little house, but it's her house. You know, and this is what we're talking about: linking people and helping people out and doing things and actually having people to transcend in life on a positive level. We see enough negativity out there. You know, we see negativity out there. We're seeing $80,000 people a year fall through the cracks. 80,000. Those people affect 4 people because some of them are parents. And here we go today, talking about this young lady of color, which dude that she had, only thing he does, you know, he likes to get his hair done and get his fingers done and roll around his car all day selling little stuff, you know. But you can't go anywhere like that. So, and I want to say, ladies, take your life into your own hands. Don't expect anybody. And when you feel that there is nowhere to go, there is some place to go. Domingo Vazquez, Director of Curriculum and Training, Tech Exchange. Technology is the avenue for you to get out and shine. And I know damn well that a lot of you ladies out there with no hope, going nowhere, you can do this. If you find an old computer and you take it to them and they rebuild it for you, I mean, there is your avenue. And I get tired of hearing people say, well, I can't go to school. Why can't you go to school? Take a computer course. Go to Tech Exchange. Call them up. You know, call them up.
We certainly can help you. We can point you in the right direction. You know, the thing about technology nowadays, it's, as I say, it's the tool for education. There are so many resources for learning anything, not just technology. I can tell you, back when I was started in this, since I was a web designer, and I always, you know, it's one of these things when you write code, it's always good. You're learning new things all the time. And then there was a gap in employment there, and so I was looking for work, right? And a lot of this is around 99, 2000, 2001. There weren't a lot of jobs out there coding. So a lot of the ways that folks got work was it would be a job board and you bid on the jobs, right? There was one particular job that was asking for a CGI scripter, which I had no idea what it was. But I did a little research and I ended up on this website called W3 Schools, which basically teaches web languages for free. And I started learning CGI. Well, this particular job that was asking for a CGI scripter was actually, a lot of people were bidding a lot of money. You know, $8,000, $9,000 for this particular job. As I say, you know, when hunger makes you do things, I bid on the job for $7,100 and they awarded me. I got the instructions and W3 Schools pulled me through. End of the week, I was able to deliver the job, and within a week after that, not only did I get a check for $7,100, I also got more work. And I attribute that simply by using online education. I mean, W3 Schools still exist today. You want to learn anything, you can. You know, a big part of, if you're interested in technology and working within it, I recommend that website, because it does have lessons about just about everything that applies to web languages. As far as basic education, there's an incredible amount of stuff there. Basically, using your search engine, I always use, you know, a search engine to find what I'm looking for, and I always look for free classes or free tutorials, and you can basically learn any and everything that you need to by just simply putting in a search for something like that. I don't know, Charles?
Free tutorials.
Yeah.
That's education, another element of education, am I right?
Yeah, it is.
And it's free.
It's free, it's absolutely free. A lot of folks are visual, you know, when they get this, and so a lot of folks, I mean, a lot of the youth, they always go to YouTube. YouTube has an incredible amount of tutorials where it's, you know, you're watching the video. So it's and in many cases, what you can do is you follow along, pause the YouTube, do what you need to do, go back. I mean, it's an incredible amount of information out there. There's really no reason to be ignorant.
And it's free.
It's all free. It's all free. You know. So it's you know, what can I say? I can only encourage folks to take the initiative to look for
In the info age right now, security is a big problem. If you can educate yourself in computer security, you're going to have a job as long as you live. You know from all the news about the hacking of the Russians into the DNC, that's the Democratic National Committee, and all the stuff that's been going on in the news right now. This is an avenue. And I know a lot of you guys out there are intelligent enough. You just got to have a little bit of character, and you got to have a little bit of hope, and you got to have a little bit of faith. But if you want to get into this stuff, Senor Domingo Vazquez is the avenue. Tech Exchange. And this says 2351 Poplar Street right now. You want to talk about that? I know you know a lot about this stuff that's going on right now.
I'm glad you brought that up. That is a grand career path. In fact, one of our partners, one of our other organizations that we partnered with, which is the Stride Center there in Oakland, they offer almost free courses. Actually, you know, they have scholarships, but one of the big things that they have right now is they have cybersecurity. You can also, Laney College has this course as well. It's something I encourage. I'm glad you brought that up, because it's a new field that
it's an open field right now.
It's an open field because there's a lot
of bad guys.
Well, there's a lot of bad guys, and also there's a lot of everything is online now.
Right.
So, remote servers are, what holds all that information out there, and it's, anybody who's a little bit crafty can have access to it, but if someone is a little more educated, they can prevent it. So it's a great field. The two fields that we kind of touched on, which is
Sure.
engineering and graphics, which is just the whole STEM movement, but also cybersecurity is really, really important and lucrative. There are jobs there that they start paying at close to $100 an hour. So imagine that. Imagine going from 0 to $100 an hour. It's a great field. Technology just amazes me because there's just so much. It's such a grand field that you can never grasp and do it all, but it's pretty easy. You just focus on one small part of it, and you can be set. So never try to conquer and know everything. All you have to do is know what it is that you need, and that will get you. You agree with that, Charles?
One of the things that I want to say, cyber security is big business now.
Yeah, it is.
It's actually $1 trillion business worldwide. 2.7 trillion dollars was spent on cybersecurity just in Ireland alone, because they have a lot of factories there. And now colleges and schools are starting to teach cybersecurity. You don't have to have a lot of brains to do this. You just got to apply yourself.
That's right.
Application is the thing.
Right.
And want, wish, desire, and hope. If you have these things in your mind, you can get out there and make $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
You can get out of the ghetto.
Yeah.
And women seem to have more of a handle on things than men right now.
Well, it is.
Girls are coming up there.
They are coming up. It's always been, the technology field's always been dominated by white males.
That's right.
And now there's a bit of diversity is starting, but by far it's not equal. Which is one of the things that that I really encourage schools is to have a STEM curriculum. Because you need to expose these kids at an early age to make it easy. So they do have a real pathway to but you don't have to be a kid. I mean, I know plenty of adults that have now been able to conquer that cybersecurity field.
Well, look at you. Let's take you for an example. The field you came out of, boilers.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is computerized now.
True.
You have your laptop, walk up to it, plug in your USB port, and talk to it. Am I right?
Yeah, you can do that. I tell you, a lot of all of the control panels are now electronic on ships and buildings as well.
Sure.
Where it's and also another thing, they're also remotely, so that they're all on the internet. So, in other words, you can control all of the devices. You can control the boiler from a remote location. I mean, it's happening now where we're doing it at home off of our phones.
That's right.
But on an industrial level, that has, and that's something that has existed. It's just gotten more and more sophisticated, and
you still need a laptop.
You still need a computer. You're absolutely
Still need
right.
a computer.
Yeah. It's an input device that's
input device.
That's going to take
that's
it,
an augmenting brain. Am I right?
That's correct.
The augmenting brain.
But one of the things that the argument of that, okay, is one of the things that they always is the desktop computer. It's that disappearing, okay, and it's not. It's still good use. Well, listen, I think we're a little short for time, and I'm sorry if I rambled on.
That's okay.
Once again, my name
What's your
is
numbers out there?
Domingo Vazquez. I'm with the Tech Exchange. You can reach us at 510-893-4822. We're located, we currently have 2 locations, 1680 14th Street, that's in West Oakland, between Campbell and Willow, and we're also at 2201 Poplar at the corner of West Grand and Poplar. You can come see us then.
The Chief, I love you. All 2 shoes of it. Hang in there and have a good day.